Hey everybody, my name is Esther and I have Parkinson's disease. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. So, I have been active on social media ever since my diagnosis with Parkinson's 2 years ago. Well, it'll be 2 years President's Day, not that I'm counting. And because I'm active on so many different channels and platforms, I get a lot of questions and comments from amazing people like you. And although I'm only an expert on my personal experiences with Parkinson's disease, I do have kind of a unique perspective because I spent my entire career working as a hospital administrator. So I was basically raised in medicine. My father was a surgeon. He passed away, unfortunately, earlier this year. And my husband is a doctor of pharmacy who, strangely enough, hates medication. So, like everybody else, the people in my life impact my thinking about things. And so I'm hoping that what I can do with this channel, among other things, because I just do what I like and what makes me happy, is share a little bit of insights into the healthcare system itself. I struggled, just like so many people do, to get a diagnosis and was really shocked after spending my whole career trying to improve healthcare to see how really, really unnecessarily difficult the system is, especially for people who are already suffering from chronic illness or any kind of illness. So, today I'm going to see a new provider. So I have a movement disorder specialist. As everybody does, I always recommend, like, if you can see a movement disorder specialist, do so. But not everybody has access to them. That's just the fact of life. Where I live, we do not have a movement disorder specialist anywhere near here. So I'm very fortunate in that I'm able to fly to a neighboring state and receive my care at the Mayo Clinic, one of the world leading, health systems, especially for Parkinson's. So that is something I'm very, very fortunate to have. I recognize most people do not have access to that. The data is very clear. Actually, less than 9% of people with Parkinson's in the US will ever see a movement disorder specialist, and there are only 650 in the whole country. So that's a problem. Most people get their care from a general neurologist, and I'm going to the office of my general neurologist, who is local, but I'm not going to see him because, quite honestly, he's kind of a dick. I do not like that guy that much. Nothing, well, it is kind of personal, but he serves a purpose. And that's how I look at healthcare. We are consumers of a product. It is not free. We pay for it. Even if we're on Medicare, Medicaid, we're paying for it. Okay. So I look at it as just like if I'm going to shop for a vacuum. I want to get the best deal. I want to have the best experience. I am the consumer. I am the customer. And the problem with healthcare and doctors especially is that they put us in this sort of like what I call like a paternal role, like your father. But since my father was an actual doctor, I immediately rebel. Immediately, I just turned into like that 13-year-old that's like, so when I go into a doctor's office, I always go in prepared and with a kind of an already desired outcome. So I keep lists and I have already in my phone, and it's like an ongoing list that I keep as questions that I have about my condition come up. I will document them so that when I go in, I just am like boom, 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 working down the list and not wasting any time. Because, yes, doctors are very short on time and their time is very valuable. But guess what? So is mine. I am raising two small children with a chronic neurodegenerative disease, so I don't have time to kill either. So that just makes it more efficient. Um, Today, I'm going in specifically to get Crexont, the new medication for Parkinson's. I use the term new loosely because, as you may or may not know, Crexont is basically Rytari 2.0. But I was at a conference a year ago where before Crexont was approved, and there's really compelling data from that study of it, and when they brought it to market, that it can prolong our on time, and actually some really interesting data that it can improve our sleep, which, whew, hallelujah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? So Um, Again, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. I will give you updates. My second tip is document, document, track, track, log, log. I use the Strive PD app. I love it. It allows me to track all my symptoms, and it interfaces with my Apple Watch, so it tracks my dyskinesia, my tremor. I'm on right now, so my tremor is controlled. But when you look at that data and you share it with your doctor, it's just so much more efficient than those discussions that you'll end up having. That's like trying to explain stuff. It's like data talks where bullshit walks, and that kind of forces your doctor to take stuff seriously. So even if you're just still trying on that road to get a diagnosis, for me, it took 2 years. That's what the average is, especially for women. That whole, problem that we have with gaslighting and being told it's all in your head, like all that happened to me. I'll get into that in some future videos. But just remember, and this is what has served me so well. If I go to a doctor, any doctor, and I leave feeling worse than when I came, we need to change. We need a change. Now, if you live in a community like mine where you can't just go down the road to the next doctor in that specialty, then the change needs to happen there. And there's a lot of different ways to make that happen. I get that you're not going to change a person. I'm not going to undickify this guy, but trust and believe that I am on a mission to feel better, even with a neurodegenerative condition. There are so many options out there, and we need to be aware of them, because the fact of the matter is a lot of us don't have choices. We're just not given the choices. We're not educated about the choices. So that's why I'm here. We're gonna have a little fun, we're gonna do a little education, and we're gonna be on this road together, because remember, you're never ever alone in your chronic illness. Somebody else is going through the same thing right now. So, as always, I hope this helps.